Hey, what's up, everyone? It's James off the cuff again, and welcome back to my channel. Today, we're going to be discussing body dysmorphia, and it's a very personal topic for many of us, and it's something that has preoccupied a lot of our time fixating on. And it's more than just a feeling about feeling insecure about our looks. It's a relentless preoccupation about our perceived flaws and how they disrupt our daily lives. What's the causes of body dysmorphia, or BDD, is what they call it now? Emotional trauma, hypercriticism from family or friends or peers, societal pressures, which will never go away, let's face it. And I also want to talk about acknowledging what your root cause may or may not be. Then I also want to talk about coping mechanisms that I've personally worked for myself, and hopefully it can work for whoever's watching this video. And as I said before, it's more than just an insecurity. I want to be very clear that we all have insecurities about how we look and how we think we may come across, wearing certain clothing and certain lighting, um, without makeup for some of us, um, without having our hair cut in a certain way. We all have our mini insecurities about things like that. But body dysmorphia becomes a constant fixation, almost like an obsessive compulsive disorder, but it's more so about your warped perception of yourself. Let's talk about the possible causes. So we have emotional trauma. You might have been teased at a certain age about a particular feature, or your weight, or your overall frame, and that can leave a lasting impression on someone. It could be hypercriticism from family or friends or peers. I remember when I was really young, let's say around the ages of 10, 9, 10, 11, 12, people used to call me skinny all the time. I didn't really care that much at the time because I thought to myself, well, I'm a boy. Like, how do you expect me to look? I'm just a child. How do you actually expect me to look? Um, but yeah, so I got it from school. Someone used to try and tease me by it, and I'd get it from family members as well. Just passing comments about my weight or lack thereof. And I think as a kid, because I played a lot of sports, I was really good at athletics, basketball. I didn't really care because I thought to myself, well, me being this frame is actually helping, is actually a benefit to my athletic ability. So I didn't really care until I got, until after university, when I probably was exposed to things such as social media, and I started seeing different types of muscular bodies from all over the world, all ages, um, the fitness professionals, the fitness social media professionals, the fitness gurus on social media. And as a very lean 5'11" boy, young man, looking at these physiques, thinking, why don't I look like that? Oh, maybe what they were saying when I was younger was true. Maybe I am really skinny. I've always had abs, so back in the day, having abs was enough. I remember saying to my friend recently, just having abs back in the 90s was enough. But as the 2000s and the 2010s started to progress, that was no longer enough. You needed to have built arms, you needed to have chunky thighs, you needed to have big calves, you needed to look like a, like a real sturdy built man. And for someone, I mean, there are people who are naturally, um, I would say, naturally gifted with those traits at a very young age. A lot of us aren't. So, as you can imagine, through my journey, these are pivotal moments of when I found myself feeling uncomfortable in my skin. I'd also get from family members and friends that, oh, you look like a girl. Oh, you look like a girl. I had really long eyelashes as a little boy. I look a lot like my mother. So naturally, I'm going to look like a girl as a little boy. And I was really insecure about that. You know, I started thinking to myself, oh, why do people keep saying I look like a girl? Like, what can I do now to look more boyish? I remember I cut off my eyelashes. Do not do that. If any of you, any young boy who's been told they look like a girl, do not cut your eyelashes because you actually need them to bat away dust that may come into your eyes or flies. I learned that the hard way. And I remember avoiding wearing certain colors because I thought they were too effeminate. I wanted to blend in and be seen as one of the boys. So those are some of the things that I did to cope at the time. But then as puberty really kicked in, my face started to slowly masculinize. I do feel like naturally I've got a very pretty face, and I think that's because I look like my mother. But I started to realize that if anyone did think that, who cares? Like, that's their opinion. They can have their opinion. I still know I'm good looking. So, so to add to that, being told I look too girly and then being told I am too skinny or too small. The things that I did back then, which I think a lot of boys probably did back then, was I'd wear like jogging bottoms underneath my jeans. So it would kind of fill out my legs a bit more when I was going somewhere. I became really obsessed with working out in my late teens and early 20s. I would be in the gym 5 days a week, sometimes six. And I was really trying to force myself to really eat to gain some pounds. I remember at one point eating 5 eggs every morning. Don't know what I was thinking. I can just about stomach 4 now. But I guess I was chasing this ideal physique, what I thought in my eyes was attractive and desirable. I also realized that once you get into the bodybuilding journey in the gym, it's a vicious cycle. You go back and forth. At one point, you feel like you want to be really big, and then you think to yourself, you look too stocky, too pudgy, carrying too much body fat. And then you want to be really lean again because you want to see your abs again. You want to be really aesthetic. And then you feel really small again. Then you want to be bigger again. I think the most comfortable I've ever felt with my physique was after I gained quite a lot of weight 2021, all the gyms were closed. You may remember everyone's at home watching Netflix or some sort of streaming platform and just comfort eating. I gained a lot of weight for me. And then I had some therapy about some things that was going on. And after those sessions, I realized that I was really not treating my body with respect. I was putting things in my body like sugar every day, cookies, cakes, donuts, um, eating like big batches of pasta, and I wasn't working out too much. So I gained quite a bit. So when I lost weight after that period, I remember wanting to lose a certain weight. I wanted to lose 2 stone. And I remember thinking, I don't think I've been this light since I was like maybe 18, 19. But a strange thing happened whereby I felt very comfortable being really slim and really small. I felt more agile, I felt more youthful. And for the first time in my life, people may have thought I looked very defined, very muscular, but in my head, I looked in the mirror and I thought I was really slim. But I was really comfortable with that. But I think it's because I had chosen to be that frame. And I think that's probably the difference. When you've chosen to be a certain frame, you probably appreciate it a lot more. Whereby if you just born with a certain physique, you maybe take it for granted. I've just unpacked that just now. Wow. But when I was in that loop of being bigger, being smaller, being bigger, being smaller, it was really hard for me to really acknowledge and realize the progress that I had made in the gym because you're constantly just dissatisfied or constantly striving to for perfection, essentially. But over those years, I don't want to say over like a period of 8 to 9 years, I'd really built a lot of muscle mass in that time. So I think being a lot leaner, I could see my abs again, but I wasn't lean to the point whereby I was a young boy again with like tiny shoulders. I'd built quite a good physique for myself. And I was quite proud of myself in that moment. So I would say, just give yourself time. And for some of the young ladies that may be watching this, your body doesn't stop developing until you're in your late 20s. So give yourself time, give yourself grace to see how you're developing. If there is something that you're paranoid about or insecure about, which is really consuming you, about your facial features, what really helped for me was just the importance of like building up my self-esteem and focusing on the qualities that defined me beyond my physical appearance. It's so important to realize that those small moments of insecurity when you may put on a pair of jeans or put on a dress and feel to yourself that it doesn't quite sit right, that's normal. And I think every human being on this earth is going to go through that at some point. But just remember what traits you possess within and realize that how you feel about yourself within, how you feel about yourself as a person, matters more about how you think about yourself physically. What I also started doing was not really looking in the mirror too much, because it's all great to check yourself and be like, oh, do I look good? Do I look okay what I'm wearing? But when it becomes obsessive, you may want to try not look in the mirror too much, because you may see something again that you don't like about yourself, and then that's going to make you feel really insecure stepping into a new social setting, should I say. I started taking pictures with my phone, and I started to really see how I looked like versus what my eyes were telling me I looked like when I looked in the mirror. And surround yourself with people who are going to build you up. Surround yourself with people who aren't going to belittle you or insult you about your appearance. Surround yourself with people who are going to be supportive. Surround yourself with people who are going to not sugarcoat things to you, but who are really going to put your mind at ease when you do start to overthink these small physical appearances that in your head are massive and you need to change them now. But what I just want to leave you with is understanding and addressing BDD is a lifelong journey. But by acknowledging the root cause and challenging your unhealthy coping mechanisms, we can really pave the way towards self-acceptance and a stronger sense of mental well-being. If you or someone you know resonates with this discussion, feel free to send it to them, male or female, because these things can really consume our minds to the point where you may feel worthless and you start to devalue every element of yourself. And if you or someone you know might be at that stage, I would suggest encouraging them to seek some help, whether it be therapy or counseling, to help them unpack what their root cause is and how they can find that true inner peace and comfortability in their skin. I hope this video has helped anyone out there. If anything I've said in this video can help you, that would really be a great feeling. And hopefully then you can pass that on to someone else. So thanks for tuning in today. Feel free to subscribe if you want to join this journey of just off the cuff topics. And it'd be great to hear some of your thoughts or views on BDD and how it's affected you and what you're doing at the moment, because I definitely could learn some new mechanisms, healthy mechanisms on this journey. Speak to you all soon. Bye for now.